Okay, and we on. Yo, 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 yo. Pronounce it like the letter. Don't say it at all. It's your boy S. Scott Bars Wrestling Media, along with the dynamic Salute, the Southern King, Darkling Dub, our special guest, the Revolutionary, the Intergalactic, the man that can out wrestle a gator, put the snake in the cobra clutch, and let you know what's up. I'm talking about ASE's own, the General, Darius Lockhart. Let's give.
No, I appreciate that intro, man.
Yeah. I was practicing my Paul Heyman.
Yeah. I like it. You might get yourself a job.
hey, I'm with it. I'm with it. Yeah. So coming up next, guys, y'all stay tuned. So we gotta do this.
Strength is like powerhouse, dangerous slam, surgical, can't repair once I break every limb. The general, which ring you prefer, I defend, cause the ruler always prays on the food in his hand. I'm telling you, fam, my entourage is definitely stacked. Don Callis, I'm related to every wolf in my pack. Diesel like Shaq, I'm always outside for the script. Light it up, we take the rain, no fear in our eyes. Gold on my shoulder, fire in the sky. Hear the crowd get loud, we were born to rise. Bars in the zone, Doug keeps the pace. Otter with the plan, we control the space. This is greatness, nothing.
This is the Ring Ropes and Turnbuckle Podcast, your home for real pro wrestling talk.
Soon, Bang Out Club will meet their fate. We have a secret weapon, someone from Lisa Bang Out's past, just in case she tries to get involved in our business. Meet our insurance policy.
Make sure you hit that subscribe button.
Yeah, we the champs. Thanks for listening. We gone.
You want the best? You're looking at her. This ain't just a sport, it's a lifestyle. Welcome to the Ring Ropes and Turnbuckle Podcast. We are the champions of wrestling talk.
Please stand by.
Now, here's your host for Ring Ropes and Turnbuckle Podcast, the insightful S. Scott Bars, wrestling media in the dynamic Salute, Darkwing Dub.
We back. Make sure you like, share, subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell for more content. No need for the intro because we already did that. My man's on a timely schedule, so we going to get this going. Mr. Darius Lockhart is in the building. Let's give a round of applause.
Come on, everybody.
Yeah.
I like the sound effects. That's pretty dope.
Yeah, you know. There's a lot of stuff I learned over the course of time, you know, but yeah, this is how we conduct, you know, our intros and outros and stuff like that, you know, like we like to
100%.
uplift the athletes on our show, you know, and let them know that they appreciate it. So we take time and everything. But how we usually no problem. So how we usually conduct the interview is my boy Darkwing will start off everything, and then I'll just tag in as we go along. So the floor is yours, sir.
First things first, appreciate you coming on. I appreciate the emails getting back to us as quickly as you did. We understand that, you know, you have a busy schedule, you know, running your own company and whatnot. Fun fact, my name is also Darius.
Wow.
Okay.
I
spell it with 2 R's.
Mm-hmm. We got to add you to the main this month, to the main event, you know?
Yeah.
Triple threat. Yeah.
I'm with it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So we understand that your time is valuable, so I'll just get right to it. What was it that got you into professional wrestling?
Honestly, I fell in love with it when I was 12. A kid at my church told me you should check it out. I think you will like it. And I tuned in, and I think it was the same night, I saw Matt Hardy team with MVP, but they weren't really getting along, so it was like a good story there. And then I saw Batista run in and save Rey Mysterio from the Great Khali. And I'd never seen anyone that massive in real life before. So I was just like, yo, what time does this come on next week? And then after that, it just kind of developed into a really bad habit. And the Hardys really sealed the deal for me.
So before you actually got into the ring yourself, did you have like an athletic background? Like maybe you played football, you were amateur wrestling or something like that?
Yeah, I did amateur wrestling my junior year of high school, thinking it would get me ready for professional wrestling. And then once I realized I could train as young as 17, I quit the amateur wrestling team my senior year. Didn't even get into the season. It was at the start of the season. It was like 2 weeks in. I straight up quit and basically just started going to high spots and started training there. And
So
yeah, so
my
I did
favorite
amateur.
so my favorite question to ask is, you were an amateur wrestler, you went to high spots, started your training. How was it taking that first bump and running the ropes?
Honestly, man, to me it was easy. It was like I've been waiting so long to do it. I had decided I was going to be a professional wrestler at 13 years old, so I was studying tapes all the time. I was reading Chris Jericho's book where he describes how to take a bump. So, I knew to tuck my chin and all these things like that. And that's not saying that anybody can get in there and do it. That's not the reality of it. Not everybody's me. But I had a thirst and a desire to apply the knowledge that I had just kind of like ruminated on for like almost half a decade at that point. And we're really almost a decade at that point. So I was just kind of just ready to try it out. And so, the first bump hurt, but I knew it would hurt. And I was ready to do it again and do it again. So coming off of amateur wrestling, you already know how to deal with pain. So you're not really worried about the bump. Everything else was just exciting to do. It was just kind of like finally, someone tells you you're going to swim for a year, and then you finally get to dive in. That's what it felt like.
What do you say? Because I know you probably hear it. I mean, us being content creators, we hear it all the time. What do you say to people that say professional wrestling is fake?
I don't. I feel like when people say professional wrestling is fake, it's like, oh, you kind of just either don't get it or don't realize that we all know the how it's like set up. You know what I mean? I think people don't understand the sacrifice that people put their body through and that, we have to endure. Trust me, my left shoulder knows it's anything but fake. My right pec knows it's anything but fake. But in terms of the element of how it's, predetermined and it's a sport and everything like that, we're here to entertain you guys. I feel like most people only say that out of a bitterness that they've been deceived or that they're being asked to be deceived, and it's just like, no, we're all understand what this is. Lay back, relax, and enjoy it. So I usually just chalk it up to it being a misunderstanding of the art form entirely, and I give it grace. Can't let it bother you.
You're a, you're a lot nicer and graceful than some of the other answers that we've gotten from that question, because we've had some guys come on here and say, if that's how you feel, I'll give you 60 seconds, come train with me. I bet you change your mind.
No, I mean, it's one of those things where I feel like that's been said so many times. It's people come in with a bull head. They either like are coming in with a desire to not understand, or they see it and they just don't say dumb things like that, right? So it's just one of those deals. I've seen football players come into, I mean, former NFL guys come into pro wrestling and, oh, this is gonna be easy, and then gas out and get hurt the first day and not come back. So it's just like, try. Yeah, it is a kind of a try it if you want to, but I've seen that so many times it doesn't even bother anymore, man. I just mind my own, and I make the art I want to make, and I beat people up I want to beat up. It is what it is. It's pro wrestling.
Hey, I feel that. I appreciate that answer,
Yeah.
because, like I said, you were really graceful about it.
So all I can do is apply grace. I know what world we live in. Some people are just smart asses. They're not gonna let it down. So might as well let them talk, bro. I got better things to worry about.
I know that's right. Get after
Yeah,
it,
man.
Bars.
Yeah, so my first question to you is that you've built a reputation as one of the most athletic voices, most authentic voices on the independent scene. What moments in your career shaped the authenticity the most?
I guess, my departure in 2022. I'm sorry if I'm not coming clear in here, everything like that. But
No, we
I know
hear
I'm
you. We
having
hear you.
some wild. Okay, cool. Yeah. Partially my departure in 2022. I think that was probably the most true to myself moment that I've ever had to come to grips with. It was just, I realized that the what I was going through personally wasn't going to serve me to stick around in an industry that wasn't serving me as well. And I just needed to take that mental break. And I think that me being transparent about that and me also like doing what's right for me so I can come back and make, continue to do the good work I hope to be doing. I think that's the most authentic, coming back with Ashe. So you guys knew that I wasn't BSing when I left, that I did need to come back and collect myself and come back and doing it like this. I suppose might be the most authentic thing I've done so far.
It's funny because when that occurred, right, I
Mhm.
thought it was part of a story. So what you're saying is that wasn't a work. That was really you just taking a breather.
Yeah, man. No, I had kind of realized that AEW might not be the place I needed to be at that moment in time.
Right.
I just kind of pushed that to the side. Then the NWA stuff, something was kind of went on. We had a conversation there, and I was like, this isn't going to be the best place for me either. You guys don't know what to do here with me. So it was one of those deals where I took a step back, and like I said, I'm dealing with personal stuff I don't really want to get into now, but all that collected together was like, okay, I can't keep coming to work with all this stuff and this weight on my shoulders. Let me take 2 months off, and then when I come back, I'll do the rematch with Lee Moriarty, and then we'll go back to business normal. And 2 months turned to three, and three turned to four, and then I realized like I didn't really miss it for a while, and so I took about a year off, and some change, and then before I started really kind of trying to think about doing Ashe again, because that was an idea that I had since 2019. So I just kind of reformed it over the time that I was gone. And so I'd always intended to come back, but it was just more so. I think I need more time. I think I need more time. I'm very comfortable not being around. I think I need something for me, and I was doing a lot of self searching and soul searching there. So all that's really authentic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think self care is very important. You know what I mean? Recalibrating
Mhm.
yourself, getting everything back together, just so then you could be the best version of yourself. And not for nothing, you didn't want to suffer from no burnout. You know what I mean? Like I know the
Mhm.
sport that you guys are involved in, like it could be very, very hectic at times. We've heard so many stories, of wrestler fatigue and things like that. So for you doing that and recalibrating yourself and then refreshing everything that you got going on and then coming back so fearlessly like you did is commendable because sometimes people
Thank you.
just don't want to don't want to fall back and take a breather. Sometimes they just want to keep going, and before you know it, what I mean, two or three matches later, is an injury that happened, and that injury could probably sustain them, like hold them back for like months, even years. So
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I didn't want that to happen.
yeah,
I had gotten to the point where it was I was counting down the remaining dates. I was like, okay, I got three more until then. I got two more, then I can stop, and I got one more, then I can stop. And I was like, when I'm getting to the point where I'm counting down my dates, it was like I don't need to be here, and I don't need to be taking a spot from someone who wants it so badly. Even though I was doing really good in my career at that time and getting higher placements up cards and getting notable matches, it didn't feel right that I knew someone was like hustling to get those matches, and I'm being given it, and I mentally was checked out. So I just had to be real with it and real with myself in the sport. But you know, you heal and you try to move on, and some things stay with you, but you got to work through it. So
yeah.
yeah.
No, that's commendable. That is commendable because like
Hey.
a lot of folks wouldn't have that humility, and what I mean, they would just keep going. And but for you to do that, that just shows the
Hey.
integrity and the spirit that you got, and it's showing. Cause Ashe is
Thank you, man.
definitely flourishing. It is flourishing. Like
Thank you,
man,
man.
it is. I know we gonna get into a lot more deeper stuff, but I just gotta show we have to just show our fandom because like when we found
I
out
appreciate it.
about Ashe, Well, there you go. There you go.
Yeah. Love it. Thank you.
We official honorary members of the Ugly Gang. Like you see,
Let's go. Yeah. One of my favorite tag teams right now.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
My man Jordan Hope, my man 100 Grand, Mr. Untouchable himself.
Yeah, the one. He's the one for sure.
Yeah.
He's gonna be great.
Yeah. So just seeing and hearing about this, we had to find out more, and we just we kept doing our research. We kept looking at the archives, seeing, and you guys had so many of our favorite wrestlers on your show. We never realized, we never knew Sheldon Benjamin was on there. I found out about Mark Henry, but there was so many other folks that we watched for years, and we didn't know they came past Ashe. So we was like, wow, like we was shocked.
No, it's a weird thing. I was trying to figure out how to do the content early. When you start off as a young company, half the time you're spending is, hey, look over here, look over here. But I didn't want that to stop us from doing quality early. So the Shelton Benjamin thing was on our like fourth show. And it's kind of like I was waiting to kind of put it out, and it's still in for some reason, getting the Ashe season 2 ready. But it's always, I want as much eyes as possible before we start unloading the clip and letting everything out for free. Just trying to get the money we can in the moment. I'm trying to get my money back initially, but stuff like that is great that people can find, and that's kind of why I'm sitting on the archive now, because now we're having even more and more eyes, and it's a thing where you can watch along live in real time, which is great. But once we start letting all this stuff out for free, I'm sure we'll get another big boom and spike, and people will see the Shelton Benjamin matches and all those things like that. That's so exciting, and one of the crazy things to see with Ashe, especially if you're watching it in a weekly television format, I write it versus the way we have to do it month to month. So
I cannot wait. We cannot wait until you guys get the ultimate TV deals. We cannot wait.
It's coming. It's coming.
We cannot wait. We ready. We ready for that. We are ready for that.
Thank you, man.
Yeah.
Thank you.
My next question is, looking back at your early days in wrestling, what's something you wish your younger Darius understood sooner about the business?
You don't have to keep up with the Joneses to fit in, in terms of the way you're wrestling. It's okay to stick to your guns sometimes, even if you're out of, in a different environment. A lot of times I ran into I was trained by George South, who was a former NWA enhancement guy, but he's known for being some of your favorite workers' favorite workers. Ric Flair, excuse me. Ric Flair wrote a whole chapter about like George in his book about how great it was, to work with someone like that. So George is one of those guys that just his intangibles are intangible, and so being trained like that, a lot of times people would see my work, and the way I apply it, I would apply the a modern move set to a traditional Southern style in like the 80s, and a lot of promoters weren't like jacking that early. They were like, "Oh, you wrestle too slow." And it was like, I'm wrestling like wrestling is supposed to go. I'm just not throwing everything away, But then I think I started to do that in order to kind of try to see if it was gonna work. And I think it was a waste of time. I think that was like months to a year I could have got back off my life trying to fit in, to just stick to my guns, That would have been what I told myself earlier.
Yeah, I when we was watching a lot of your matches, we seen that you was definitely a throwback, and we definitely see a lot of elements from the 80s, the early 90s. And it was like, yo, dang, he's a revolutionary for real. Like I'm watching your matches, and I see a lot of Bad News Brown. I see some Ahmed Johnson. I see some Farouk. I see like all the people I grew up watching. I see them all combined into one, and then I see you. I'm like, yo, this is dope. So like you definitely could see that you're a student of the game, and I think that's important because even yesterday, when I was having a live and I was speaking about being a student of the game and learning about the historians, the ones beforehand, a lot of the young content creators that was on the panel, they was like, well, this guy is not this guy and that guy's not that guy. I said, where do you think these guys would be if it wasn't for the people before them? You know what I'm saying? Like they had, and I started mapping out because I'm good with, kind of analyzing people's styles and I could see certain things. So I start, referencing certain wrestlers and then I tell them where they got that move from. And they be like, who? I'm like, come on, bro. Like, how you gonna like this guy? You don't even know where he got the style from. So like, it's much appreciated that you go back into the archives and you study and stuff like that. So it's much appreciated because it shows through your art form for sure. It shows through your art form.
Much appreciated. Yeah, that's very high praise. Yeah, I just try to take a baton and evolve it.
Yeah.
And just add my own spin to it and make wrestling feel a little bit something to breathe into again. Everything's so formulaic, I feel like you always know what's coming. I like to mix the bag up a little bit. Even like Bret Hart will finish with something that's not his finish. You just catch you with the move. Sometimes it's time to do that. So, I want people to be able to just relax and not try to see where I'm going and just feel it in the moment. So thank you for that. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I definitely see a lot of technical savvy of Bret Hart when watching one of your matches. Especially there's this one match that you had where it was like almost the whole entire match you guys were going just for grapple, and I was like it was so reminiscent of the Iron Man match between Shawn and Bret. It was so yeah. I'm trying to remember what match that was because like I don't know if I watched it recently or a few weeks ago, but it was definitely a grapple for grapple match. In fact, I'm gonna go back and get the match, and then I'm gonna send it to you. And then I'm like, yo, this is the match I was talking about. Yeah,
for sure.
It's
a few of them.
Yeah. I know. This was I believe. I don't know if it was.
Was I bald or did I have hair?
No, this one you had
That's
hair.
The one.
This one you had hair. You had hair.
It might have been against Sugar D. Who knows? It's a lot. It's a few things online. I know.
Yeah, I know the one
about. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I know the one about Lee Moriarty because we mentioned that. I seen that one, but it was another one. But you definitely did have hair though. You definitely had hair.
As I can pinpoint what time period it was.
Yeah. Go ahead, Doc.
So, before I get to what I want to talk about, I wanted to ask you this. It just popped in my head. In light of everything that's been happening over in the big company, me and him, we saw this picture pop up on social media that says Kofi Kingston was more important to professional wrestling than Hulk Hogan. What do you say to something? What do you say to something like that?
I mean, if that's how that person feels, absolutely. I mean, your case can be made to anything. I never like comparing people, and I don't like really going into opinions. I saw someone make I think a 100 greatest wrestlers of all times list, and they didn't have Kurt or Shawn on the list. Like people say things and people mean things, and they feel like they can stand by it. Kofi's done a lot for a lot of people, and the way he has transcended. The way he has kind of like he never. Someone said the other day to me, Kofi has never embarrassed us. And I know you know what I mean by that.
Yeah, no, we definitely do.
Yeah, people feel the way about maybe something like the Bootios or whatever, but Kofi got out there and showed people what a black man could be in this industry, and he's inspired so many young black professional wrestlers, and that alone, like I don't think you get Trick Oba Javon without Kofi Kingston popping up in '08. And I think that, and I saw the way my classmates gravitated to a Kofi Kingston, the way he's kind of helped matriculate in things and pass the baton to the next people and let people know that it's possible to be a black wrestler and then spawn a generation of hundreds of wrestlers, hundreds of black wrestlers. And he helped usher that in as well. Become, so when you come to talk about barriers, you can make the case for him. If barriers broken, Hulk Hogan's never broken a barrier that couldn't have been broken without him or hasn't been broken before him. You know what I mean? And that's a company behind it, everything like that. So you could always make an argument, but it depends on what your litmus test is. If you want to talk about pop culture relevance, now we're doing this. So it's whoever, dog. Yeah.
I feel that.
Amen.
How do I ask this?
What?
Is there a chance that we can see Xavier and Kofi pop up in ASE?
There's a chance of anything, man. And ASE's affirmational phrase is bringing life to existence, right? Bringing things into life, things exist. So every time you ask that question, the chances increase. So I'll leave it at that. You know what I mean? But I've heard through the grapevine some people are interested in talking with me. So maybe there's a couple conversations I need to have if ever people are interested. Yeah.
We have had a couple guys on here that are from the Charlotte area that have said that they would love to work with ASE. So we'll have them reach out to you.
Yeah, please, for sure. We're
So-
always looking to work.
Explain to us how you got the nickname the Revolutionary and the Intergalactic Soul.
Yeah. So I started calling myself the Revolutionary in 2016, early 2016. I kind of gone through a personal thing in 2015 where I was actually the African Diaspora Studies minor, and I was dealing with a lot of racism, both overt and covert in pro wrestling in my 2-year career at the time. So I was very much frustrated, a little looking for answers. So I was heavy in my books, reading things like Charles Hamilton and Kwame Ture's Black Power, reading different things like between the World and Me, reading things like We Were Cool by Bell Hooks, just a lot of different pieces of literature. And in those books, I found some of the bravery and courage that I wanted to confront said racism with, you know what I mean? And I saw, I was watching certain elements of those people speaking. I was watching certain clips of, certain wrestlers I saw exude that confidence without, people who didn't have to worry about that color line. And so I was like, man, you know what? I want to be. I heard, I think it was, oh my God, Dr. Khalid Muhammad, which I won't co-sign everything he say, but he was talking about if you're gonna be a father, be a revolutionary father. If you're gonna be a mother, be a revolutionary mother. If you're gonna be a baby, be a revolutionary baby. Taking the bottle and cracking the suppressors upside the head, you got to be a revolutionary. And that stuck with me. And I was like, yo, be a revolutionary. That's hard. And I just kept repeating myself to it. And I started saying it to people in the ring. And then next, I was like, well, I should be a revolutionary. If I'm the revolutionary, I can take you to be one. So we're all can be revolutionaries in our own right. So I got to be the revolutionary. So that was kind of the birth of that. So when I came out in 2016, I was like, yo, call me that. And as you saw after that a little bit, a lot of people start overusing the word revolution and start popping up here or there. A lot of people started nicking it. So revolution to me now is almost a buzzword that I kind of cringe when I hear. Sometimes I'm the revolutionary at heart, because people know me as that, and I'll let them call me that. But at this point, I'm just like, man, y'all have oversaturated the market, and a lot of people, y'all not really revolutionary at all. Y'all not doing nothing revolutionary, but y'all are taking the joint. So the revolutionary is that, but because of that, I had to learn how to be the intergalactic soul. Which I will give full credit to an artist I'm befriended who also made the logo for ASE. His name is Marcus Kaiser, and Marcus had an art exhibition called the Intergalactic Soul, which he fused. He would have this art digitally displayed into the midst of kind of an interactive show with a live jazz band there. And they were together. It was like the Intergalactic Soul show. And I went, and it was the feeling that I felt internally that I also been looking to put on my outward canvas. So I was like, yeah, this is incredible. And we had a conversation about the work and having to collaborate with it. And I asked him, like, "Yo, can I be the Intergalactic Soul?" Like, and he was like, "Yes, I would love for that. Like, that'd be so cool if there was an Intergalactic Soul." So he bestowed it upon me, and then we kind of went with it. And now it's kind of a breath of fresh air into me a little bit.
I like it, honestly. Like revolutionary, that's
Mm.
cool. But it's like you said, we hear it so much. I mean, everybody's a
Wow.
revolutionary these days,
Yeah,
and they go all the way. They take it
yeah,
all the way back to Martin Luther King, revolutionary, Malcolm X, revolutionary, so on and so forth. So to come up with, I honestly, when I saw the way Bars did your name on this backdrop, I said that matches the Intergalactic Soul name. To me,
I
it
appreciate
does.
it. Thank you.
Uh, I,
Thank you.
I thought it was perfect for you to for this for this show.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, and I had to grow. You know what I mean? And I wanted to. I don't like doing some everything. I don't like doing what everyone else is doing, especially. That's just me. And so, at the time, I was the only revolutionary. Then everything starts coming, and I was like, all right, you know what? I got to do something different because it's killing me to say it. Like every time I say my name,
Mhm.
I'm wincing through it because I know y'all have made the word damn near meaningless. So that's ultimately my truth with it. But I had to come up with something fresh and new. Uh,
It's awesome. That is awesome to
Thank you,
hear.
man. Thank you, bro.
What was the idea behind Ashe?
The idea was to kind of dive like divest from the whole thing of always waiting and complaining online and asking for a major company to give us the inclusion we're looking for, to give us the respect, us as black performers or us as black wrestling fans, or anyone who shares the black experience. You know how it is to be a black wrestling fan or in the space of wrestling. It's a very frustrating experience a lot of times, and I think I kept just I felt like people running into a wall. I kept seeing the same conversations every day. And also some wrestlers putting their feet in their mouth about, hey, things are okay, or, well, what black wrestlers are out there? And I just remember being like, that's so insulting. There's so many of us. And so at first, I came up with, I was like, we need to, it's not really about proving anybody wrong or anything like that, but how do we empower ourselves without always having to wait for it or like beg for someone to see the humanity or see what we have to offer? So it was really about just taking my power back and then wanting to like extend it upon my friends and family and people in the industry that I know have something to offer. Um, and not just, and ironically, I know, but not just on shows that relegate them to their skin, but just showing them in different lights. Like it's not, it's not just, I don't like calling Ashe the all black pro wrestling show because we have white people, every people in the back who come and celebrate with us, who enjoy the show, who are also backstage producing, helping produce the show and everything like that. This is a very multicultural team, despite what people think. But I wanted to show people a Rorschach test. If you do see a poster with black people on it, what do you see? Do you see a black wrestling show or do you see a wrestling show? Or why do you see the black wrestling show? And also, if you leave this show, you know what I'm saying? Oh, you can't just say, well, which one's your favorite? Oh, the black guy with the thing. Well, there was a lot of black guys with the thing. Which one? Did you like the aristocrat? Did you like the technical expert, Jonathan Gresham? Did you like, now you have to understand who our personalities are and what our names are, despite being a quota, and not just a quota filler or or just like, just the bare minimum representation on the show. Everyone likes to pat the back of representation, and people will narrow it down to the numbers on the page. How many black folks are in the ring? How many people of color are here? But what they're not looking at is a literature of it, and that's what the letters on the page are saying. What are we saying with the people of their time here? So I wanted to change what we were saying when people are watching black people in the professional wrestling ring, that they can be more than just an athletic freak beast or a hoodlum or whatever, or a rapper or whatever. And it's like, let's rewrite what we can be on this page. And let's also, change the distribution. Who publishes it? Because they're not publishing our stuff. So let's publish it ourselves. So that was kind of the aspect and spirit of what led me to make Ashe. It's a love for pro wrestling and love for what we can bring to it and what it could be.
Yeah, it's crazy that you say that because You know, me and him was just talking not that long ago. Is like, well, it was, what was it back in the early 2000s or the late 2000s? It was, they had the name, you had to have a crazy name like Crime Time. Why do they have to be Crime Time? Or like right now, the Street Profits. Why are they the Street Profits? You know what I mean? Like, and then you do get into like Apollo Crews. Well, before he came into the company, he was Uha Nation, Nigerian. Then they tried that in the company, and they floundered it. So I also think some of these bigger companies just don't know how to promote black wrestling. And I'll be honest with you, when I heard of Ashe, it was from somebody that you know. His name is Nasty Leroy. And he's the one who told
that's our guy,
he's the one who told me about it. And I was like, what? He was like, I promise you, check it out. They're on YouTube. You're gonna love it. I got on there, started looking at it. I reached out to him. He started looking at it. He was like, bro, we have got to start promoting this. Everybody. And then we also have another good friend that you've actually been on her show is Ladybug. Ladybug Loves Wrestling.
Oh yeah.
And
yeah, I love them.
Yeah, she started promoting your show, and then we all started just promoting Ashe because
Beautiful.
I'm like, if we can't complain that there's not enough of us on TV and we're not promoting us. So you don't know how much is appreciated to see a show not necessarily dedicated only to us, but a show that's for us. By us.
Yeah.
And it means a lot to us.
Oh, thank you. No, I appreciate that. I don't mean to step over you. It's like it is at its core supposed to be a celebration of the diaspora. You know what I mean? And that is to recognize that, it is a unity around the world. We share an existence. We share a struggle on this earth. We know what it's like. And it's not to divide or anything like that, but it is just to really show it like this is us in every single color. And this is who we are when we control the narrative versus like y'all asking us to do whatever, dressing us up in a funny costume, which you think our culture is of. So, I'm very thankful that y'all have been so supportive of it. And that's why I always say yes to podcasts like these, because without y'all, it is no Ashe. And y'all are the desired market. We're trying to appease people like yourselves. So, it's nothing but love from me.
One last thing before I pass it on to my boy. There are a lot of other people, you kind of already answered it, but for those that ask the question that are not black, can I come to an Ashe show? I tell them like, yes, go up there, but I want them to hear from the man himself.
Yeah. Listen, Ashe is not a color line. There's a lot of posters that you see that may feature all Japanese talent. There's a lot of posters that you see that may feature all Hispanic talent. There's a lot of posters that you've seen that feature all white talent. Do not let Ashe's all black poster scare you off from thinking this is not for you. At the end of the day, this is a professional wrestling event. It's a professional wrestling event, and we tell stories that can relate to any person, of any color, any creed, any sexual orientation, any gender, anything. We love you. We love pro wrestling. We love people, and Ashe is pro people. Our audience has tons of white people in the audience, tons of Hispanic people, tons of Asian people. We bring all races together, and that's the beautiful part about Ashe. So yeah, please come and do not be deterred. Come one, come all.
Y'all heard it here first. The man, the myth, the legend said it himself. Everybody is welcome.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we definitely appreciate that. Everything he said is valid. We keep saying supportive because like we never knew that something like this could actually exist. You know what I'm saying? We had people that would try and do it, but it always will fall short. But when you came into the fold and you started it, it's something that excelled so fast and it became so popular amongst us. And like we kept watching and watching and watching. Like, he'll tell you we're so entrenched in the characters and everybody on there. He'll let you know. He'll let you know. One of my favorites. I ain't even going front. One of my favorites is Mr. Diabolical himself, Darius Carter.
There goes my smile. There goes my smile. You know, you had me. You know, people give you a compliment to snatch it right back, right? I feel like give and take.
Yeah, man. So
I understand. I hear that quite a bit.
Yeah. And then from him, of course, Yaya. I was so taken back. I'm like, Yaya gracefully jumping off the ropes and doing a swanton. I said, yo, this guy's like a 747 landing on his opposition, and I said, I could not believe it. I said, man, whoever's taking that bump, it's over. Don't even try to get it. Don't even try to get it.
It was bad.
Yeah. Don't even try to get up.
I've seen Yaya do that over the turnbuckle, like the one Montez Ford does. He runs to the corner and does other. I've seen Yaya do it that way. So Yaya is amazing, and he's jumped. There's footage of him online just doing it, running just at the corner and just doing the tope over the corner deal. He's got hops, bro. Like Yaya's crazy.
Oh my God.
Incredible stuff. So. Yaya's amazing, and I'm glad this is one of those things that I've known Yaya for years. I've seen him starting from his maybe first a few months of training, into seeing him now and knowing that he's been one of the best kept secrets in North Carolina for years now, and just me being like, yo, yeah, it's your time. Like, let's back this up for you, and he's knocked it out of the park every time I give him an opportunity. So I love that you fall in love with Yaya. That's one of my hopes and dreams going into this show and this program, building it all together. And Darius Carter is a given. People love to hate this guy, and I like smacking him. I love to smack him, so I don't mind. It's a good cylinder relationship. Y'all like to hate him, I like to check him, and then we do what we gotta do. So
it's funny you say that. It's funny you say. I know what he's about to say. It's funny you say that because one of our interviews we had, they was like, yo, Darius just has one of those punchable faces. That's what he said.
Yeah. And it's crazy. This is our fourth match we've ever had under the ASE banner, and it's almost annual at this point. I have to give him a biannual ass whooping. He at this point, it's like the first time. The first time, it went my way. The second time, I'm worn down at the end of the tournament. He snivelled his way right to the end. So that was kind of like a little cheap shot in my opinion. But the last time, he also used Ryan. So this time, I got to find a reason to around or a way around Ryan. Yeah. So it's like, man, we're scheduled for our appointment. So let me see how this one's going to go. You slipped away the last couple of times, but this one's got to wrap this one up.
Yeah, you guys,
you know what I mean?
You guys' rivalry is something special. Like, I love to watch you guys' matches because it tells so many stories within the match. It tells so many. It's like yin and yang keep colliding the whole entire time, and it's so fun to watch because I'm like, yo, you never know what's going to happen next. It's very, very the matches you guys had is so unpredictable. It's almost like when you had those matches, they had the fall counts anywhere, and then there's 1-2 kick out, 1-2 kick out. You really don't know who's gonna win. You get caught, and you're like, oh, this person's gonna win, that person's gonna win. You don't never know. So I'm very much drawn in to see what's gonna happen this time. I'm very much drawn in. Yeah.
Well, I'm hoping that it ends with me getting the 1, 2, 3 and my hands above my head with the belt. But we'll have to see May 23rd.
Yeah. Definitely, we're gonna be locked in for that one. So my question is to you: you've wrestled in many different environments and promotions. Which experiences challenged you the most as both performer and a person?
I'd say a lot of it. Oof, that's tough. Um, and there was a time that I was shot on in a wrestling match. That was interesting. I was really young, and I had to learn, a lot about the industry right then and there. There's also been a time where I've gotten hurt in other locations. Like one time I got hurt overseas, and I had to like figure out what my bearings what I was gonna do there and everything like that. I think maybe what I'm gonna chalk the answer to being probably just misunderstood as a talent. I think that's kind of a wall I hit sometimes. That people they overthink what to do with me because it's a strong persona, so you have to make it strong and you have to utilize it strong. But I think there's some people who aren't always comfortable with a character like mine being portrayed as strong. So I think sometimes me running into that wall, knowing I'm good enough, knowing I'm a good wrestler enough, and everything like that, but always running into people's apprehension or fear of institutionalized behavior or beliefs. I think that's probably the biggest hurdle I'm always having to run into, which is why I'm just kind of done with working for people and working for myself now. You have to kind of show them how to book you, show them how to treat you. It's just life.
Yeah, let me ask you this. Why do you think it's so hard for promotions in general to book certain black talent when it comes to like either their personality or their mystique in general? Why do you think it's so hard? Like, do you think it would be better for them to actually have people within the company that are writers that can relate to these talents that come into their company? Or do you think it would be better for them to actually have people like that could just basically train with them, know them, be able to feel their presence, and then understand, so then that way they can relate it to the back and let them know like, hey, this is how this should be formatted for this person. Because I like my brother just said, like I see the at certain time frames, the stereotypical whatever wrestlers and whatever, and I'm like, well, what if they ever tried this with this wrestler? What if they ever tried that? And growing up in the era that we grew up in, like it was either the angry black wrestler, it was either
Hmm.
the happy-go-lucky wrestler, or it was either a
Hmm.
little bit of both. And I'm like,
Hmm.
well, what if they just tried something a little bit different? Because like honestly, like not everybody's like that. You know what I'm saying? So
No, no.
I just didn't understood that. What is your thoughts on that? Like as far as the writers and whatever, do you think we should have writers backstage that can relate?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm always advocating for diverse writers, diverse producers, diverse, bookers, anything like that. Anyone who can come up with a different viewpoint. Um, I also will advocate for um, people kind of stepping back and looking at the overall structure of how wrestling has conditioned us to view people of color in the wrestling industry. I
Mm-hmm.
think a lot of things that are booked now are almost subconscious because they've been this industry standard for 70 or so
Right.
years,
Right.
of, this is how you, which is what you do. This is a ceiling of, if you're catering to mass America, then, there's only a certain kind of level you can get to. Certain people need to be at the top to appeal to mainstream America.
Mm-hmm.
All that, I think there has to be someone who can take a step back, look at the conditioning, and go, okay, how can we avoid these pitfalls? How can we, hear people out? I think it takes a lot of listening,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of understanding on that level. So whether or not be diverse, I think I'm for the diverse writing and everything like that, but people just have to kind of get out of their own way and see that you don't have to always write a black talent like a black talent. You can just let him be a talent. You can give the context that he's black. That's understandable. That does help you navigate and avoid certain other pitfalls for, things he shouldn't or should be saying. But when you put the usual litmus test or usual like level on the person. I think people have to understand how to unwire their brains. Yeah,
Yeah.
recondition themselves.
Yeah, I think the reconditioning is very important because they get to see, they get to see the wrestler from a different viewpoint, in so
Yeah.
many years. I mean, not for nothing. They have gotten better over the course of time. I definitely can say that. Like, every promotion that we have watched has gotten better over the course of time. But I do feel that there's still some improvement that could be made. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Because like I feel like if they're able to have the diverse writers and the ones that could definitely understand, what I'm saying, our outlook towards us, then they could be able to understand how this character should be. You know what I'm saying? But like I do feel they gotten better over the course of time. Like it's definitely better than what it was like when we was growing up. So that I definitely could say that for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, everything's always got to evolve, and you got to take one step before you can take 12, right?
Yeah.
So I definitely understand it. I definitely know that, you know, there's business and all these things like that, but if there's a desire, there should always be some effort to strive forward. So, I'm all for these progressing when they can, however they can.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, my next question is: was there a particular match or opponent that made you realize you belong at a higher level in pro wrestling?
Yeah. Well, I will say I always felt that I did. Even when I knew that I wasn't good yet, I knew like one day I'm going to be higher. But I did want to preface that. But I think my match with Swerve Strickland was probably it. That was the one I was like, oh yeah, okay, yeah. I'm. People are now can see that I'm who I think I am. So
Really?
now I have, really-
How did I miss that? You face Swerve. I gotta go now. Now,
I still,
now.
I still had, I still had hair.
Yeah, I missed that. Oh
Yeah,
man, see,
yeah,
I
man.
got I
Yeah, yeah,
gotta go back
yeah,
to the
yeah.
archives now because I didn't know that.
No, hey, I'll do you one better. I beat Swerve Strickland. You know,
Nah, whoa, I definitely,
so you know,
I definitely
you gotta
gotta go
watch it.
back there.
It's yeah, it's on my YouTube page, Darius Lockhart. You can type in Shane Strickland, Darius Lockhart, and it'll come up. We went about 25 minutes. It was really good.
Wow.
And we left it all out there. So it was really good. Really good
What
match.
what was this? Was this before his WWE run or was this?
Yeah.
Okay, okay, all right. So
This
yeah.
is this is this is in the midst of Lucha Underground. Like he's got 50
Oh.
belts on him. He's defied champion, this champion. Yeah, like he had like 12 belts on him when he came to the
Oh,
ring.
okay, okay, all
But
right.
it's that era strict. Yeah, he's Shaka Khan strict. This is what this is era. Shaka
Oh,
Khan.
the ain't nobody.
Yeah,
Okay, all
it's
right.
that strict one. Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
the MLW strict. Okay, okay, I got you. I
Yeah,
got you.
yeah,
All
yeah,
right.
yeah,
I,
yeah.
I, I'm surprised I didn't catch that one because I keep up with a lot of Swerve Strickland matches. I'm surprised I didn't catch that one. Yeah, I gotta go
Yeah,
back.
yeah, no, it's all right. No, that one boosted me to better independent shows. Like that one got me on better shows, and I was like, all right, cool. And then yeah, COVID happened like a year or two later.
Yeah,
And so I was like, all
yeah.
right, cool. Like that one got me on better shows. Then I started doing like wrestling in England, and then I came back from England, got hurt, COVID happened. So it was a crazy chain of events. But like, yeah, your boy's momentum has been like this every other time. Like get hot and then something life happens. But it is what it is.
So let me ask you this. Being that COVID happened, um,
Mm.
was do you think the COVID era was was a gift for you or was it a curse for you? Because I've talked to a lot of wrestlers. We have talked to a lot of wrestlers, and some of them actually said that the COVID era actually put them in a different space as far as like, getting certain looks, the looks that they might not have gotten if everything was, wide open. You know what I mean? Because I tell you one thing, when the
Yeah.
COVID era happened, and everybody was on lockdown, I seen a lot of matches that I never thought I would ever see, ever. You know what I mean? And I seen,
Yeah.
and I heard of, and I caught up on a lot of promotions that I never heard of, and it was just a lot of indie wrestling. So what is your
Yeah.
thoughts on that?
Well, Um, I'm mixed thoughts on that just because it's like it's hard for me to ever say COVID was a blessing because so many people like just passed like outside the context of wrestling. So many people died. It's just
Mm-hmm.
kind of hard for me to like to say it, and that's no like no shade to what you were saying, but I
Mm-hmm.
understand what you were talking about. But it's
Yeah.
just hard for me to ever refer to that moment as a blessing because it was such a hard time for so many people. But I will say the ways that it could have been beneficial to me was mentally making me sit down and remember what this is all about, what's important, what's not important with wrestling. I mean, like I said, I got hurt at the top of COVID. So like I tore my front pec in a match with Trish Adora for the finals of the Pan African Championship. I was the person she beat for the Pan African Championship. We're in the finals.
Mm.
So she pinned me. I realized I'm hurt at the end of it. I'm getting ready to take time off anyway. Then the world shuts down. So I had to sit inside with an injury, couldn't even get surgery because they weren't taking people in. They were talking about checking out my torn pec over the phone. I'm like, bro, I can't. I need you to look at this. Uh,
Yeah.
so I'm healing up, and so I went through a lot of emotions during COVID, like everyone else did. You're hurt, you're annoyed, all these frustrations, but also it made me remember how to format and get people's attention.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's wrestling even less at that point. Me, not at all. But it was more so like I was watching people wrestling, and I was like, well, people only seeing you so many like times, only seeing you every other month,
Mm-hmm.
or once a month at that tops. Um, that's like a pay per view. Well, what is your Raw, SmackDown, ECW? What's your TV tapings? And it was like at the time, it was like Twitter. You're like your TV is a social media. So start doing vignettes for yourself. Start doing segments for yourself. Start doing what you can for yourself because at this point, Darius Lockhart show has to be Raw. So it's that's why I start presenting myself, and that's why I start making more content, and I got more eyes on me coming into 2021 as I was getting ready to get back in the ring. So that benefited me in those ways.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, understandable. Yeah, COVID was definitely a mental shakedown for a lot of people. Like I know for myself, like we was where I work at, we couldn't even go back to work. We was shut down, so we had to work from home.
Amen.
We had to work from
Amen.
home. I had to get up in the
Amen.
morning like I was getting ready for work, and my cell phone was actually my office. I had to go
Yeah.
call in and say, "Hey, blase, blase," then do whatever. So yeah, it definitely was something. I know one
I'll
thing.
say this.
Hmm.
I'll say this. You can't wrestle from home, but you can
Hmm.
talk from home.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think that helped me as well. Me doing like I said, my online promos and even when I wasn't filming it for you guys, I was cutting promos just to myself
Hmm.
and just wherever my mind went, that's how I got better at it. So that also helped me out too. I just want to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I definitely, you have a point with that because I definitely seen a lot of talent cut promos online, whether it was Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. You know what I mean? I definitely seen that, and I and then when they started to slowly open back up, I started seeing like I started seeing like more authenticity from a lot of the talent. Like it was like a rejuvenation type of thing because a lot of
Yeah.
people were saying too, like when everybody was like shut down and locked down inside their houses, the environment got a chance to rejuvenate itself and refresh.
Hmm.
And when they said that, I was just like, wow, that's different because I would think if there's nobody out there around or whatever, I would think that it would make the environment, worse. But because nobody was out there, nobody was out there throwing the trash, nobody was out there doing this, doing that, it got a chance to rejuvenate and
Heal.
refresh yourself, heal. Yep, exactly.
Hmm. Hmm.
Makes perfectly good sense. Yeah. My next question: independent wrestling can be mentally and physically exhausting. How do you personally stay grounded and motivated?
I withdraw. I create my own world with Ashe, and when the show's done, if I'm not working on direct content that you guys see, I don't. I'm not on the rumor mill. I'm not watching a lot of other shows. I'm not poking my head around or just exhausted about where I'm not. I'm focused on where I am and what I can control and how to make myself happy. So that's how I do it. I just keep an arm's distance.
Yeah, sometimes just closing everything off and locking in. I know I do that for myself,
Yeah.
especially when I'm working on my music. I lock
Hmm.
in. It's funny because my bro over here, like at one point, I said I was going to just give up on music and just focus
Mm.
and just focus on just making content and things like that. And then when he seen what I did with the AI, like I've written lyrics for AI, and that's what you seen in the intro with me with my AI self rapping or whatever. And then he was like, "Yo, bro," he was like, "Yo, bro, what are you doing? What are you doing? You did that with the AI like that. I know the AI ain't gonna rap that stuff like that. You written it for." He's like, "What are you
Yeah.
doing?" And I was like, "Man, I was like, I'm gonna just leave the music alone for now." And then he was like, "Nah, bro, you got to lock back in, man. You still got a lot left in the tank. You got to lock back in." It kind of recalibrated with me and made me want to see, like, okay, so how can I add that side of myself to my wrestling
Yeah.
content? And then that's when I kind of was like, okay, since I already call myself Bars Wrestling Media as far as the wrestling content, let me really put some bars into it and bring it to life like that. And then that's kind of like how I, a little bit more animated and things like that. So I
Yeah.
think I think like really, just the locking in general is important. You know what I'm saying? Because you get to think of new ways to reinvent yourself, and I think that's important. You know what I mean? People getting a chance to see you in a different space instead of the space that they're used to seeing you in. So it definitely
It's a
makes
word.
sense. Yeah, yeah,
That's a word.
yeah. Go ahead, bro.
So before we get into the show that's coming up here in a couple weeks, I wanted to ask you this. We've had a lot of talent on the show from the state of North Carolina. What the hell is it about the state of North Carolina and professional wrestling?
It's the Mecca, man. The culture was built. The first bricks were laid down years ago before we even started. So, to come to something with such a strong foundation and put weak stuff on top of it, it's just not in us to do. So we're just gonna try to keep building on top of what people like Dusty and Ricky Steamboat and Sting laid down for us, and keep adding to our own flavors of the culture. So, North Carolina is just that there's a heritage here that you can't ignore, and you have to be a part of it if you're gonna put the boots on to get in the wrestling ring. Yeah.
We've also heard a lot about LeBron Cozone and his
Oh yeah.
impact on North Carolina wrestling. Talk to us a little bit about his impact.
His impact is amazing. I tell at the pre-show meetings, I always call LeBron one of the secret hearts of ASE Wrestling. He helps us with the ring. He helps give us more students. His students he's teaching such a great crop of guys. And everyone knows about him training Javon Evans, and we saw Javon popping up 13, 14, 15-year-old, starting from kid in the crowd and wanting to help out to being around LeBron, and just now, how's training coming every few it's months when I see him, the next thing you know, he's there. So it's like LeBron is seeing people when they're young and working them out from potential into their best selves. So LeBron Cozone is just he has a good heart, and he's touched a lot of folks. So it's been a long time coming, you know.
Yeah, every wrestler, especially ones from North Carolina, there's two names they always bring up. It's your name because of what you've done for the culture, and then it's LeBron Cozone's name because of what he's done to also bring up the next generation of wrestlers in that area. So you guys are, whether you want to believe it or not, you guys are extremely popular amongst, even the indie wrestlers around.
I didn't know that, so thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So, Mr. Lockhart, I am known to be a bit of a pot stirrer.
Okay.
And we've had one of your nemesis on the show.
Mm-hmm.
You might know him as the front man.
Yeah.
And he had a lot to say.
Yeah,
Now,
I'm sure he did.
We know that in y'all's last match, you got the W.
Yeah.
We also know in the match prior to that, he got the W.
Yeah.
So, are we going to see the rubber match?
Well, here's the thing. You miscounting. Our first match was in the tournament for the ASE Men's Championship.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I beat him round 1. So to me, I'm up to it's 2-1. No.
That's right.
I'm done with him. You know what I mean? I'm sure our paths will cross. Jassie's an amazing wrestler, and I can see him easily making himself to the top of ASE, taking himself there and becoming ASE champion even. I think frontman's great. Our issue was always really him personalizing some losses, him blaming me, and my issue with him is really just like, yo, dude, you're as good as you think you are. I know you're as good as you think you are. You're as good as I think you are. But for some reason, you just keep playing underhanded ball. And this guy that shows up to try to, what's what I'm looking for? To just upset everyone, to just be a jerk and everyone, I'm trying not to cuss on your show. See, I'm trying to censor myself. But front man, yeah.
Let it fly.
You show up here. You show up here and you do half-ass work. You know what I mean? In terms of you show up here and you cheat. You show up here and you take underhanded tactics. You pull my trunks, and you don't have to do that. Especially if you're as good as you think is. We all know you are. Let's just keep it up front. No, this person sitting here, feeling so sorry for yourself that you have to cheat. That's pathetic to me. And so I just wanted him to rise above. It was almost like a disappointment, but that last fight showed me that he is as good as I think he is. He's as good as I know he is, because he damn near kicked my teeth down my throat several times, and I did get the win, and I'm glad I did. But as far as I'm done, it's over, and hopefully next time, we can wrestle, and it'll come down to brass tacks like it should, not some underhanded shit like you tried the second time.
Hey, bro, I didn't even have to stir the pot on that one. He just let it fly. Hey, you got it.
I'm sorry. Yeah, man. That's just it.
Yeah, that guy get the hold on before you even go. It got to get the diabolical Shao Kahn laugh. It's spooky hour. Spooky hour.
It's real.
Hey, I just want you to know that Jordan Holt hates that.
Oh yeah, I can see him hating it. Yeah, Jordan's interesting like that. He has his qualms. He can't stand what he can't stand. Yeah.
He really can't. And then we've had all three of them on this show together, and it was the funniest show that we've ever had.
Yeah,
I'm sure. Ugly Gang is one of one, and you see why they got their jobs. So not sorry. I was like, yeah, you'll all be here. So.
So we understand that ASE 15 is coming up on May 23rd.
Mm-hmm.
First things first, how do you explain to Billy Dixon that you are getting the shot at Darius Carter before he gets his very much so warranted rematch?
So here's a controversial take. It's nothing I have to explain. Number one, the commissioner and the board also, agreed that I never got my rematch for when I was screwed. No one remembers that. I wrestled Darius Carter, and in the main event for the champion, like in the tournament finals, where he low blowed me after sneaking his way to the main event for a tournament he wasn't there for. Also, when we did the rematch later, he had Ryan come out and hit me in the head with a briefcase. Billy came out afterwards, and I was willing to step back because I know they had personal beef and they did their contract deal. But no one's talking about the fact that I never got my rematch from when I got screwed. So if it's the spilt milk, I'm not really worried about that. Second, to be honest with you, as much as I love Billy, when he lost that he won specifically. When they had to reverse the decision, Billy hit him with the belt. That just is what it is. You know what I mean? So it's he has to wait in line just like I had to wait in line. I let my boy handle it, but he made a decision that backfired on him, and we've had that conversation off camera. I hope it doesn't have to spill on camera, but the deal is, it just is what it is. I earned my match. I earned my rematch back tenfold. I had to fight Jossie for the better half a year. I had to get through Alex Kane, which I barely survived after he suplexed me all over the building. So, it's really down to brass tacks of I'm having to claw my way back up through contendership like I did, and he would have to do the same. My only unfortunate thing is Billy is retiring in June, according to him, so he doesn't really have time to climb up the ranks again. And this isn't Make-A-Wish Foundation, unfortunately. Things have to work how they work. He understands that. Which is why he's not, advocating for the automatic rematch. He knows that his actions put him at the bottom of the line for contention. So if he wants Carter, he's gonna have to find another way. But honestly, we've also talked. If I win this championship match, he's one of the first people I'm giving the shot to. Hell, if I win this championship match, I'm willing to give him the shot in June. I'm putting that on paper right now. When I beat Darius Carter for the ASE Men's Championship, May 23rd, we have another show coming up in June. I'm giving him the first shot because I know that's going to be his last shot. So it's up. You know what I mean? So Billy, if he feels a way, he can hang on and just wait. But I got us in the end. He knows that it's no ill will. I just got to get mine too.
Hey, that's fair. That's fair. I wanted to speak on the rivalry, the great rivalry between the two Dariuses. What makes that rivalry so special?
I think what makes it, it's two sides of a similar coin. I won't say the same coin, but two sides of a similar coin. You look at the word Darius, and if, you look up the meaning, there are several iterations that point to leadership. And in our right, in both our rights, we're both leaders, but we're both also two men who want to lead. Darius Carter was vying for the so-called to be the leader of the culture, whatever that means, before ASE even existed. And, it seems like a part of his issue with me is the fact that I was crowned unceremoniously, I guess subconsciously crowned by people as such. And I never asked for that. I didn't say, hey, pick me. But there wasn't a vote. There wasn't a public vote. I wasn't even sure that it was really officially mine. But he's projected his insecurity of people not choosing him onto me. And that's not my issue, but he's made it my burden. So now that, you're in this company, which you should be because you're super talented, and there's so many people who are missing out on the greatness of Darius Carter, I will admit you are great in a lot of ways. But when you come here into this place that I'm building for people like yourself to succeed, and you personalize something I'm doing for you and take slight in it to where you want to take it away from me, how can I not, how can it not turn personal? Especially when we are so similar in so many different ways. So it's I think to people read it as special because it's personal, but not in just in terms of a man to another man, but it's personal in terms of a man and the battle with himself, which is more poetic because both of us share the same name. So I think that's why people find it so special and captivating.
I'll be honest with you. It's one of the better rivalries in the past probably 10 years or so. I mean,
Thank you. High praise.
Absolutely. I've been waiting for the rematch. I know I asked the questions about Jossie and about Billy Dixon, but he and I both have been waiting for the next round of the two Dariuses because it is special. It is captivating. It keeps your eyes glued to TV. You can tell the story that's being told between you two. And for people that are missing out on it, they're missing an amazing story. For everybody that says, oh, this is cinema, that is cinema, this is great storytelling, y'all need to go look at Darius Lockhart versus Darius Carter, and you will see exactly all of that and some.
Yeah, for sure.
They'll catch up. But thank you very much. That means a lot.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. One last thing for me before I pass it back up. Explain to us the move from was it kill shot to plume?
Oh, slingshot to bloom.
Slingshot, yeah.
Yeah.
My
So
apologies.
slingshot, no, it's okay. So it's a really weird chain of events. Slingshot was good, and things were going well, and then December we had the second anniversary show, and there was a special entrance being curated for Darius Carter. And the violins, and that goes above me. It goes to our production team and things like that. And so what happens is the students that were going to play him out. We had an orchestra play Carter out to the ring, a live orchestra there, but students who belong to Piedmont Middle School, they were accessible and willing to do it. However, they can't really be on site at Slingshot. So we started looking for different options. It's an alcoholic bar. They can't, like, as a school, come out to the place. They won't authorize that. So it became a legality thing. So we were like, you know what? It doesn't really cost us much of a difference in terms of the financials. Let's go back to Piedmont anyway. Second anniversary. There's something kind of ceremonial about that, kind of full circle about it. And let's just do it there so we can get this entrance off and also just kind of, bring it back to community in that way. And while we were gone, that was the 1 month we didn't run a Slingshot. Even though we had all the days for the rest of the year, we chose to do a Piedmont. Slingshot went under. Now that I didn't know until March when we had already announced Bloom. But in December, end of December, I had a friend reach out to me and tell me that Bloom was available and interested in working with people like ourselves. And so I was like, all right, well, let's reach out. I put together a pitch deck. Bloom loved it. And they were like, let's bring it on. And legit, the week or two before we did Brandon Bloom, I had our first show at Bloom. Slingshot announced that they were going out of business. So it was just a weird kismet and level up that only higher powers can understand how that came together. So perfectly timed. Otherwise, I don't know where we'd be at if not Bloom.
Wow.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, that's crazy. Crazy timing, right? Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. So
go ahead, Bars. I gotta go check on my son.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. We just basically thought that you guys had just transferred to another location, for better quality or whatever. We had no idea it was that serious.
Well, no. I mean, it was just a better location. Like, hey, let's get Bloom is bigger and pretty and better. We'll go to Slingshot, when it's time to go back. Maybe we'll do it again in the summer because we kind of had a residency. And next thing you know, they were shut down. And I was like, well, it's like we're not going back to Slingshot. We'll just stay here at Bloom for a little while. And Bloom's been good to us, so there's no complaints.
Yeah. We definitely were locked in the last show, but we are most 100% making sure that our schedules are free for this one coming up because
And let me tell you something. Let me sorry, I'm not trying to gas it over you. You should be excited for this one. And what this show is building to is going to be even more exciting to you. I promise. There's a big announcement on this show that's going to let you guys know about the show in June too. So you don't want to miss that as well. There's a lot of exciting stuff coming out, Shay. But you guys about to have your mind blown come May 23rd when you hear the news.
I cannot wait. I cannot wait. I cannot wait. Question: Speaking of locations, I always like to pitch this. When are you guys going to come to South Jersey? Mainly Atlantic City. Atlantic City got a lot of spots to throw shows at.
So you send me a list of those spots and I'll start looking. How about that? That's what I tell everybody. Because people always say when you come in here, but they don't ever give me a venue. And I don't live in those places, so I don't know your city like y'all know y'all city. Y'all know 5 different places I can run at. I don't know those places. So please, in Detroit, if you're watching, you're one of those people who say, bring our shit to Detroit. Where are we running in Detroit? Tell me how. Like send me the place you want to see us in Detroit. If there's in Atlanta, you know what I mean? So just different things like that. I've been so focused on getting this story and letting everyone see the first wave of Ashe. Truly, you are still in chapter 1 of Ashe. Wow. And so when chapter 1 is done, or when book 1 is done, however you want to read it, then we'll talk about traveling more. But it's always in my back of my mind, and I do want to do it. So please don't lose faith in this just yet. Just know that we got to get to a bookmark first, and then we'll get to business.
Yeah, no, I only ask because he stays in Oklahoma. I'm in South Jersey. So I always ask every time we talk to the wrestlers, oh, when is your promotion coming here, or when are they doing this? Because I know the last wrestling show I was at was AEW, and that was I went last summer with my son, and we went to a Collision event, and then I believe we went to a Dynamite event too, but it was my son's birthday, so I surprised him and took him to the show, and he loved it. His favorite, another Ashe wrestler, Kevin Knight. Favorite wrestler was Kevin Knight. Knight did that 450. He was out of his seat. He was like, I taped it. I taped his face and everything. I'll even send you the footage. He was like, he couldn't believe it. I was like, yeah, just seeing your youngin's face light up like that just means a lot, because I grew up watching wrestling since I was 2, and my uncle was a wrestler. God rest his soul. He wrestled in Nigeria. You know what I mean? So I always
that's beautiful.
Yeah, my family's from Nigeria. They migrated here in '78, but I was born in the States. It's weird. My mother's from Nigeria, West Africa, Akwa Ibom State, and my father's from West Philly. So I have 2 sides of the fence in my culture. I have my American side, but I also have my African side. You know what I mean? So
we love it. We love it.
Yeah. So just being able to just show that side to my kids, and then on top of that, being introducing them to one of my likings, and he loves wrestling too. He wanted to be down here and watch, because he watches Ashe with me. He wanted to be down here, but it's his bedtime. So I said, nah, bro.
I understand.
You can watch.
Shout out to, what's your son's name?
Oh, his name is Victor.
Well, shout out to you, Victor. Thank you for watching Ashe and loving Ashe regardless. Hopefully you can watch him more than when you wake up.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he was like him and his brother and sisters like, can we come? I was like, nah, y'all gotta go to lay down. Y'all got bedtime. So
I get it.
Yeah.
Well.
Okay, so
go ahead.
I got 2 more questions, and then I'm gonna pass it
back
to
I was about to say we'll have to wrap up here soon.
Okay.
I'm running a little bit, but if it's all right.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Okay, so my next question is, what sacrifices behind the scenes do fans rarely see when it comes to pursuing wrestling full time?
Um, I think just the mental and financial sacrifice. But specifically the mental finances that can always come back, but mental. There's a lot of mental health stuff that kind of comes into play with wrestling that I don't wish on my worst enemy, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I always tell people, hey, know what you're getting into. A lot of people always ask me, "Oh, teach me how to wrestle. Can I, train me?" And I'm like, "Relax. I want you to know what you're getting into before,
Mm-hmm.
like the possibilities of this. You can give it all to it. You can give your body to it. You can give your brain to it, and it does not care. And sometimes you just have to learn and wait and understand what's for you is for you.
Mm-hmm.
But not everyone understands that lesson. So, I think people don't really see that struggle.
Yeah, yeah. I definitely believe that. There's not a lot of promotions that have the unreals. You know what I mean? And even with that, really, I still feel there's a lot that's not shown, and there's a lot that's kind of like, I would say, like kind of doctored up a little bit, and not and
Yeah.
not really the real full extent of what really is going on. Just enough to draw the people in, but not
Yeah.
really show exactly what is taking place. But yeah, I definitely understand.
Absolutely.
Yeah, go ahead, Doug.
All right, so as we're getting ready to close,
Mhm.
talk to us a little bit about the show coming up on May 23rd, Ashe 15. How
Yeah.
can people watch? What time does it start? When can they start buying tickets and so on and so forth?
Okay. So Ashe 15 in Charlotte, North Carolina at Bloom Studios. You can watch and you should buy your tickets now on blumenthalarts.org, blumenthalarts.org. You can go to our site and there'll be a link there for you. Tickets are on sale now. They've been on sale since Monday, so go ahead and grab those up before they're all out. I do know that you can also watch a stream online if you're not in the area at Patreon. We have a Patreon now. You'll be live streamed through that. So patreon.com/Ashe Wrestling. That's ASE Wrestling. You can check us out there and watch the live stream and enjoy yourself. Ashe 15 will feature the main event of myself versus Darius Carter for the Ashe Men's Championship. Ryan Rembrandt in his corner. You'll also get Darian Binkson as a hold for hold challenge. You'll also see the TME, the Ashe Men's Tag Team Champions. You'll see the debut of some new additions to the Ashe Women's roster. You'll see LeBron Cozone and Manny Lowe, one of his Firestar students, take on Cedric Alexander and Dante Khalifa, and plenty more. Ugly Game's going to be in the house. Yaya's going to be in the house. You don't want to miss this show. Caprice Coleman has a major announcement, and is going to shake up the foundation of Ashe. He has 2 announcements apparently, so we're going to see. And so yeah. Please check us out, and you're going to love it. I promise you.
You know, your boys here at the Ring Ropes and Turnbuckle Podcast, we already gonna be locked in.
Please do. And make sure if you're in the building, y'all can get this exclusive Ashe t-shirt designed by Mark Noguchi. I don't know if you can see it that clearly. It's you can check it out on our Instagram. It's brand new. We put up the design and saw what you guys were thinking, and we see and love it. So you can get it printed there on site, and I'm gonna make some more announcements about that this week. So keep an eye on Ashe social media.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
What?
Definitely. We're gonna do that.
Damn. You gotta be in person to get it.
We'll put it up online. We'll put it up online. Don't worry. We'll put it up online too. But it's definitely, we're doing the first rollout there in the arena. They're on the site. So you'll know. Y'all gotta come down and
I heard it here.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've talked about it a few times. We talked about it with Ugly Gang. We talked about it with Ryan Rembrandt. We've had him on the show too. We want to make a trip out there. Yeah, we're gonna make it happen. We're gonna make it happen.
Yeah, we're gonna do that.
Good.
We're
Good.
Tell Caprice I'm coming for his job.
Oh my gosh, you and everybody else. It seems like after we punch Ray
Well,
we're gonna have to see if he still has it.
uh-oh.
Yeah,
Well, I typically ask another question, but you know what? This has been an awesome show. We appreciate you taking the time out of your bit.
Before you do that, I got one small question. Chance the Rapper, how was that experience connecting with Chance the Rapper?
Oh yeah, that was yesterday. Yeah, no, it was good. It was cool. He was mad, mad friendly, exhausted. I guess he's in Charlotte and he's doing like meet and greets and things like that. So I popped up early and ran into him and let us know what we were about. He's actually doing a concert the day before Ashe here near the Charlotte area with Tia Corinne, a friend of ours. Before there was Ashe, me, Fast as Hell, and Maxwell. And Rayhan Antaeus were in a Tia Corinne music video. We recorded a wrestling video with her, and it was never released. But yeah, I'll repost some of the footage. But it was never fully released because of the production, all the legalities. But we know Tia, so we mentioned to him that we're friends of Tia and welcome to the city, and we're a show with features professional wrestlers, and he saw the flyer and he was enamored. He did his chance to black wrestlers. What like. And I showed him that, and he was gassed. So who knows? He might pop up, but he definitely thought of well of it. We gave him his own custom Ashe shirt that said Chance 3 on the back, and it was pretty cool. So he was a good dude.
That's fire.
Yeah, man.
That's fire.
Yeah, chop it up a little bit.
Go ahead,
Absolutely.
Well, we appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule. We know you're running your own business, you're doing your own thing. And let me tell you something. We appreciate everything that you are doing and will be doing in the future for the culture. Like, you are the kind of people that, the kind of person that we and the rest of the country need more of. Representing us. You bring such a positive light to everything. You speak so eloquently. Everything about you speaks like this is what Black excellence is supposed to look like. So we appreciate everything about
that,
you.
Thank you, man. That's a high praise. I really do. Those words aren't lost on me, and I really appreciate it every time you guys speak love into me and our product and everything like that. So like I said, it really doesn't happen without you. I know that's a very cliche gesture, but I really do mean that, and I hope you can and fulfill the sincerity in that. It really does warm my heart when you guys speak about me like that. So thank y'all. Thank y'all for having me on the Ring and Ropes and Turnbuckles Podcast. Please, Ring Ropes and Turnbuckles Podcast. Please, thank y'all so much for having me. It's been a blessing. I see y'all go viral every now and then. Y'all pop on the timeline, so it's nice that I'll be on one of these clips. It's nice that I'll be on one of these clips.
We appreciate it. We also appreciate you, getting back to us in a timely fashion as far as the what we had asked you about and whatever. We definitely appreciate that, because I feel like the y'all content needs to be out there, and whatever we can do to make that happen, like we on it. We on it. You know what I'm saying? So
if y'all listen, we're not gonna shut y'all down. If y'all ever want to clip farm or react to anything, we're not gonna. Go ahead, have fun. We know people getting shut down right now with the big companies, but please share anything, any clips that wow you from Ashe, even if it's just the whole match that you want to think people have to see. You have my permission, please. Thank you.
We appreciate it. We really do.
Absolutely. Much love, y'all. Thank y'all so much for having me.
Thanks.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for being here. We appreciate it. We'll be staying locked in with you for sure.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. God bless.
God bless you. Thank you.
There you have it, folks. Mr. Darius Lockhart was nice enough to set some time aside for your boys. We hope each and every person that locked in with us enjoyed the show. I hope each and every person that locked in with the show learned something, because, hey, Mr. Lockhart spit a lot of facts at us and at you guys about the Black wrestling experience and why it was important, or why he felt it was important to start ASE Wrestling. Y'all remember ASE 15, May 23rd at 6 p.m. Hey, he already said it. I'll say it again. Is at patreon.com/ASE. Or if you're in the Charlotte area, go to Bloom Studios, check him out. He said the tickets are available now. Tickets are available now. And y'all be on the lookout. The cat isn't, he just let the cat out of the bag. We have gotten permission from Mr. Lockhart, the owner himself, to do some live reactions. That's what we've been saying. Ever since these big companies started shutting people down, what have Bars been saying? If y'all been paying attention to his TikTok, his Instagram, and Facebook, I've been reposting it. If y'all been paying attention, he's been saying, there are other companies out there that would love for you to make content on them. Mm-hmm. And we let the cat out of the bag tonight. ASE has given us permission to make content about them. Mm-hmm. Hey, all you got to do is reach out. The worst they can say is no. Worst they can say is no. Reach out. There are other companies out there that would love the content to be about them too. They would love it. WWE and AEW and TNA aren't the only wrestling companies out there. Let's show these smaller companies some love. That's why the first company that my boy up there reached out to was ASE, because we know that it's not that they need us, but if we can help in any way, like he said before Mr. Lockhart got off, we're going to do so.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's very important to support companies like ASE and so forth and so on, just for the simple fact that these are the companies that are the future of the business. You know what I'm saying? Future of professional wrestling. Like ASE is the future, whether people know it or not. They are the future, and they have been showing that they are the future. And if you really want to be honest, they are the now, honestly, because he already told you they working on something big. So that just goes to show you right there, they are the now. Like, honestly, just forget what I said about the future thing. They are the now. They are the now. You know what I'm saying? And just to have this type of promotion on the radar is important to us. You know what I'm saying? Like, if y'all want support this promotion right here. You know, support this one right here. You know what I mean? And I promise you won't be disappointed. We weren't disappointed. You know what I'm saying? We were overwhelmed, you know. But like I said, you know, stay locked in with ASE, and we definitely are going to be doing some dope reactions. I'm planning on doing some this weekend. I'm planning on linking up with my boy here, and we gonna really put together some really, really fun and dope and exciting content with ASE, and just move forward from there. So y'all just stay locked in for it. It's coming soon, trust me. I'm going to be putting my skills to work. We're going to have some fun. Is there anything you would like to say before we transfer over to the Tiki Talks?
No, man, I'm glad that we were finally able to lock Mr. Lockhart, no pun intended, in. Such a down-to-earth brother, man. He's very well spoken, and he knows what he wants, and he's putting his mind to it to make it happen. You know, not just for, and the thing that he wanted to make clear is like, yeah, what you're seeing is a wrestling show full of Black people, but anybody can be part of it. White, Black, Hispanic, Asian, it don't matter. If you enjoy some good wrestling, hey, tune into ASE Wrestling. Tune into it. The first time that I watched it, I was hooked. I couldn't wait for the next show. So, man, like, just support. Spread the word. Make sure everybody and their mama knows about ASE Wrestling, because the more they get put out there, the better. The more they get put out there, the better it's going to be for everybody.
Yeah,
the more eyes, the better.
Most definitely. The more they get put out there, the better. And I'm looking forward to what they got going on next. I'm definitely locked in. I can't wait. I can't wait until this next show. I'm gonna make sure I'm free from the scheduling of anything, because I have to be paying attention to what's going on this time around, like especially this time around, just for the simple fact that I know we kind of got a hint and idea of what's going to be taking place. So yeah, for sure. All right, so we are going to transfer over to the Tiki Talks for about 30 minutes and do a after show, you know what I mean, to, chop it up with you guys, talk about, our experience with Mr. Lockhart and, some other things, I know I was supposed to do Bars Wrestling Media Live this evening, but this was too important for any of that. So don't be mad at me. We gonna make up for it. We gonna head over there, and me and my boy gonna chop it up with y'all for at least 30 minutes, and then we gonna cut it, cause we working folk, so we gotta get some shut eye, and this mushroom coffee will definitely wear off sooner or later. So that's about it. So y'all y'all stay locked in with us. We appreciate the viewers that's been locked in with us the whole time. Shout out to y'all. I can't see who's watching, but I see there's a certain amount of numbers there. So we appreciate y'all for locking in with us. Stay tuned. Come follow us on the Tiki Talks as we go live in a little bit. Deuces.
And that wraps up another explosive edition of the podcast. Join us next week as the road to the championship continues.
Yo, Robert Mason here, and the fire in this arena is unreal.
And I'm Molly Finwick. We are the Ring Ropes and Turnbuckle commentary team, bringing nonstop action.
This is the Ring Ropes and Turnbuckle Podcast, your home for real pro wrestling talk.
Make sure you hit that subscribe button.
Yeah, we the champs. Thanks for listening. We gone.